Alright, let's talk about how I reinvented myself and built or continue building my dream life. I'm a little sick, so if you hear me cough a little, I'll try to cut it out. But if you hear me cough a little, I'm sorry. That's just the way it is for me right now. And I'm currently in one of the amenities of my condo or the place that I'm living in right now. It's so amazing right here. Let me just show you around. You see, so this is like the game room of the condominium. We also have like a co-working space in the gym. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm here right now and I just wanted to quickly talk about reinventing yourself and going after the dream life that you've set for yourself. Quick background story. I didn't used to be living or pursuing a dream life that I always wanted. It was my childhood dream to be an actress. However, life happened. I was taken on a very different path. That is kind of the pitfall for a lot of us. We go with the flow, and then the next thing we know is we're actually in a situation where we didn't plan on, that we have no interest in, that we don't even feel alive at. And for me, that was the course that I was taking. I was a biology student. It's a pre-medicine course here in the Philippines, and basically life and people around me wanted me to be a doctor. And I excelled in it. I excelled in the course. I excelled in what I was studying. I also have no problem at all with being a doctor. I think it's such a good profession that pays well. But at the same time, I also know to myself that that's not really what my soul was craving for. Because deep inside, I still know that performing arts was the thing for me. It is something that actually makes me feel so alive. And the moment I realized that was during my graduation. We call it sablay. I was wearing the sash of pride, I guess, and with a medal around my neck. But during that time, I remember myself, like I was standing there questioning why it felt so empty. I worked hard for it for 4 years, more than 4 years, and it should have at least fulfilled me a little bit. It didn't felt so empty. And so that was the moment I decided to reinvent myself and to actually go for what I want. So I'm sharing with you the things I did to do it. Because right now, I'm actually an actor. I do theater, I do short films, and I host events, and I make a living out of it, and I'm a digital nomad as well. So everything I actually wanted as a kid, I am living now, and I'm so fulfilled. And I know that this is the right path for me because as I see my classmates from before actually getting into medicine and being doctors or like on their way to become doctors, they're actually doctors now, they're in the residency. I feel really happy for them without an ounce of like jealousy or regret. I want that for you too. I also know that if I did go for the medicine route, I would have had all of these what ifs. In my future, I want to be that old lady who's in her deathbed knowing that she lived her life the way she wanted to and not having any what ifs. And I want that for you too. So the things I did to reinvent myself is number one, of course, is knowing what you want. Even though I'm saying that I knew I wanted acting and performing arts even back when I was a child, it still took me time to actually figure out that that was my passion and I wanted to find purpose in it. And so it's not really easy trying to figure out what you want, but that's the first step. It's always the first step to figure out what you want and to commit to it. But how do you find out what you want? Number one is let life point you to the direction that you're meant to, but at the same time, take ownership of your life. I want you to actually go back to your core self, who you were as a kid. It's amazing how kids are just so free and how kids don't have these limiting barriers in life like we adults have. If you ask a kid what they want to be, they'll actually just straight out tell you, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a pilot. They don't even have to question how to get there. They just tell you what they want. And I'm pretty sure all of us at some point had that. And that is actually a good sign of where you can start figuring out what it is you actually want. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a career, you know. Some little girls actually like just want to be moms. You ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a mom. I want to have a baby. Or even like young kids, you ask them, what do you want to become when you're older? They tell you, oh, I just want to be rich. I want to be a millionaire. So you should take that into account. Second thing I did was I was very proactive with learning what I should be learning in order to get the career that I actually wanted, which is acting and business. I took business courses. I invested a lot, like financially a lot, in order to learn what I needed to learn in order for me to have my own business. And now I'm actually a digital nomad. Like, I have complete location freedom. I can work wherever I want. Literally, my office is just my laptop. And now I also do act. I actually have an audition coming up in like a few minutes. But yeah, I also do act. In order for you start a career, you of course need to learn the ins and outs of the skill that is needed, and at the same time, the actual industry. Another thing that you can do to educate yourself is to read books. To be honest, I think I still need to get tested, but I think I'm actually dyslexic. But I love reading. The only thing I love about reading is not actually like reading the words itself, but it's more about me learning important lessons from different people who already have made it. So these authors who write books, they always, well, almost always write books based on their own experiences and their own lessons. And that's why books are jam-packed with knowledge. Now, if you don't like reading, you can still benefit from books, from like listening to audiobooks. There was one season of mine where I was so busy and I didn't have the energy to read books, but I just went or the audiobook version of the books that I wanted to read. So yeah, try to learn as much as you can. And then the third thing I would say to reinvent yourself is to build the habits of the identity that you want to embody. By that I mean, for me, as an example, I made it a habit to take care of my body. I made it a habit to make sure that I go to the gym, or if I can go to the gym, at least walk or be active, because as an actor, your tools is your mind, body, and voice. Another habit that I developed, just to give you another example, is I vocalized. Especially during the times where I was doing a lot of theater work, I vocalized every day. And it was well worth it because now I actually have full control of my voice. Like speaking voice, I'd say singing voice still got a bit of way to go. Yeah, those are examples of habits that you can do. So if you already have a career that you want to do, or like an identity that you want to embody, list down what her day looks like and then try to build from there. Or even as simple as the habit of waking up at a certain time. Like, what if the identity you want to become is someone who's very productive, and so you wake up 6 a.m. before everyone else wakes up? I used to do that, but not anymore. Just because there are a lot of moving parts in my life, and waking up very early is something that's taking a toll on my body, and so I just let myself sleep because that's the best way to be productive for me right now. But starting out, that's what I did. And then fourth thing is consistency. Always consistency. I heard this quote somewhere. I think it's from Stephen Hawking, or no, Stephen Furtick. The difference between people who make it and the wannabes is consistency. Something along those lines. For example, if you want to be a content creator, it doesn't make sense for you to just create one video and then pour all of your energy into it. Like, you create one video, you take like a day to script it out, and then another day to film it, and then a week to edit, and then you end up not actually doing it a lot of times. And then you end up just with one video. Do you think that actually qualifies you as a content creator? No. Another example is if you want to be an actor as well, and you auditioned for one part and you gave all your energy on it, and then you didn't get accepted, and then you got rejected. If you're not consistent with it, do you think you're actually going to be an actor? No. I think I read this in Atomic Habits, which is very relevant to the point that I'm making here. Each action you take is a vote to who you want to become. So just keep that in mind. Every action you do is a vote to who you want to become. If you're slouching off in your couch, that's a vote to who you want to become. But if you're actually making things happen, if you're actually taking action, like maybe finding auditions online that you could audition at, that's a vote to become an actor. If the action you're taking is scripting out, that is a vote to become a content creator. And if you stack up those votes every day, every week, every month, every year, you eventually will embody the identity that you want to become and eventually be able to reinvent yourself. It also heads up that each people have their own pace in doing things. The key really is consistency. And another thing with consistency is it is going to be harder to be consistent in the beginning. But trust me, as you become more and more consistent, it's gonna get easier and easier. It's kind of like swimming. Starting anything, any endeavor, even reinventing yourself, even like switching careers, is kind of like learning how to swim. When you're learning how to swim, like you don't know how to swim at all, you'll always feel like you're drowning. That no matter what you do, no matter what stroke you do, you'll always feel like drowning. But that's not actually the reality. Because the reality is you're not drowning, you're just learning how to swim. So that's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like this video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.